This video may give me a lot of heat, and you know what? It's been a long time coming, but you know what? I don't care. I really do not care, because this is well deserved if you ask me. Many times have I had bad encounters with this person, Matthew Schroeder, or whatever you say his fucking name, I don't know. All I know is, this dude is probably the worst mod on Versus Battle Wiki, and probably nobody will surpass him as far as I'm aware. And mind you, that's saying a lot. That's saying a whole lot. Let me just be the first to say that Matthew is probably one of the main reasons why Versus Battle Wiki is the reason why it is. He gets away with so much shit just because he's a mod, and not only that, but he does a lot of stuff on his own, such as being just an outright dick and sometimes a hypocrite within itself. But that's just what this video is for today in general. And mind you, Matt doesn't come alone. If you can't tell, Saikou and Kepekley definitely fall into the same category. But you know what? This video is mainly for Matt, but some other mods who also have a habit of doing some other stuff, they'll get ranked into this as well. So with that being said, let's just get right into this. And you know what? I don't even care which lynch mob comes from me. I really don't, because I'm already aware that there are some white knights of Matt who will come and say and insist that I'm wrong. But you know what? I don't care, honestly. If you disagree with me, then fuck it. I do not give a fuck. But that being said, let's just get right into this video. So, I'm not even going to attempt to beat around the bush. All of you here are familiar with Matthew, and all of you here know what Matthew is like. The dude is a genuine douchebag, and I'm not even going to attempt to hide it. So, with that being said, Matthew is known to have lashed out on threads many times, and this has occurred for years now. This has been happening for years, and nobody has said or done anything about it. More specifically, the mods haven't. But since I'm here, I might as well give you some instances of Matthew just being a huge asshole to other people who are, mind you, just trying to upgrade a character or propose some revisions, not even attacking Matthew or anything like that. But one of his more notable lashing outs was on the 2A Moon Cell thread. So, to put in perspective, there were some people who were asking why did the Moon Cell get upgraded to Multiversal Plus? And to extension, why did BB get upgraded to Multiversal Plus? And here's what this dumbass Matthew does, right? So Matthew, he literally just throws insults and all this shit and all that, and it's just so stupid. Like for example, one thing that he did outright state was that every Fate fan on Versus Battle Wiki is apparently part of an echo chamber, and everything that they're saying is just innately biased to their waifu, which is, so stupid and just so unnecessary that, how's that been slide? I don't understand whatsoever. And another thing that, he's also said in the same thread was the fact that, oh, if people don't like me, then they can shut the fuck up and they just need to grow some balls, which is so insensitive and just so dickish that I don't understand how mods have not said at least one thing to him, because every time someone goes to Matt about something, he always reacts with just a negative reaction and all that shit. And the funny thing about it is, there have been people who tried to report Matt in the past, but the thing is, mods don't want to do anything about it. They just say, oh, this is not report worthy or anything like that. Such examples is when I attempted to, report Matt for something. More specifically, I wanted to call out something that he did, but apparently, based on what the mod said, no. That's not report worthy. Even though one of the things that he said on a thread, which was about, Padme versus Sifis. I mean, not Padme versus Sifis, but Padme versus Temiya Yado from Masadaverse. One of the things that he said, that he was basically calling this one person called, I don't forgot his name, but he called him a pseudo-intellectual, and basically just insulted him for no reason, just because he gave his opinion and said that Padme is 3 levels above baseline or whatever. Which, I don't know, I don't really care about Elder Scrolls scaling. I mean, I know it, I just don't care about it. But point being, and bottom line is, Matthew basically just threw an insult. I called it out, but apparently what I did was not worthy of it. And this is an instant of what I'm talking about when Versus Battle Wiki just have shit mods in general. Matthew can just get away with stuff like that. And if you want another instance of Matthew breaking down, was with that infamous moment where Sonic fans were trying to upgrade Sonic to 5B, basically his base form to 5B. And in the thread, he's thrown many insults before. Mostly, he's called them desperate fans. Yeah, that's right. Matthew, in the same thread, called Sonic fans desperate just because they're just trying to upgrade Sonic. Mind you, none of them were throwing shots at Matthew or anything like that. So basically, Matthew again proves our point. The dude outright is just an asshole for no apparent reason. He has no justification for the way that he acts. And apparently all these Versus Battle Wiki people just completely gush over him and completely defend him when there is no justification or no objective reason for why he's doing what he's doing. And you know, the crazy part about it is Matthew isn't even the worst thing. Then we have Saikou, however you want to say his name. I've talked about him before. Really, everyone here I've talked about before. But Saikou is another example. He kind of falls in the same boat with Matthew. One instance is when people keep trying to upgrade Yukari to tier 1 and tier 2. Mind you, I personally don't agree with that. I have Yukari at the very most Universal Plus, no higher. But people keep trying to upgrade Yukari to tier 1 and all that shit. And here's the thing, Saikou is just so dickish and so rude in how he handles it in the same way as Matthew, but obviously not as worse. Yeah, one of the things that he said was that he basically calls, he does the same thing as Matt, basically calls people who try to upgrade Toho to tier 1 an echo chamber, and not only that, but he also insults them like usual. So again, he just proves everyone's point. What's the point of throwing all these insults when it's pointless? It completely paints the narrative that Versus Battle Wiki is a huge shithole, which it is, but you're just making that narrative worse. And there's many instances of Saikou doing this as well, many that are included in my Versus Battle Wiki loot doc, which is what I made for that video that I made called Deconstruction of Versus Battle Wiki. So if you want to know more, you can see there. But point is, Saikou is just as bad as Matthew when it comes to this regard. But one of the more slickest and more snakiest person within this crowd is definitely Kepekley, whatever his fucking name is. I don't fucking know. Kepekley, whatever. Point is, I don't, and luckily for him, I don't have screenshots at the moment, but I definitely have people who can vouch and definitely testify to him shit talking. But Kepekley, he takes things to Discord. He's one of them Discord people who likes to talk shit behind people's back. He's been put on record to talk shit about people on Discord and all that stuff. And just recently, there was a case where he did that as well. I won't talk too much about it, but yeah, he basically talks shit on Discord and all that stuff. And when he gets caught, he apologizes, even though he probably didn't mean it. So yeah, and mind you, he can do stuff like that and get away with it freely on Discord. Mind you, on the same site, Versus Battle Wiki also punishes people off-site for stuff, such as what they did with Corgi. Which, mind you, I've said before, I don't like Corgi, but he's done some stuff that was off-site, but he got punished for it. So again, why doesn't Kepekley get punished for stuff that he's done off-site and that he's done many times? So, and actually, since we're on the hypocritical part, I'd also like to point out that Matthew has been put on record to say, oh, can we keep threads civilized and all that shit? Even though Matthew is the same type of person to explode on threads for no fucking reason. It is ridiculous. And I fail to understand what's even the point of it. And you know, what tops this all off is, there's even been instances of like entire threads being made just for Matt, such example being basically where mods have like poor reasoning of closing threads, which Matt has a reputation for doing, a really huge reputation for closing threads for no fucking reason. So an entire thread was made, and on the same thread, people were just jerking Matt off and saying that, oh, his reasoning was alright, even though one time when one of the first threads I made on Versus Battle Wiki, which mind you, Or do you think it's wink or not? Which, personally, looking back on it, yeah, it was kind of stupid. But point is, Matthew just closed my thread for no reason, saying, it's just a spiral galaxy, it's wink, so he closed it. It was a spiral galaxy, and he wasn't wrong, but that doesn't give him a justification to close my thread without having any proper evaluation or no mods whatsoever. That's just a testament to how shitty he is when it comes to moderation and how he handles things. But the general motif of this video is that Matthew is just shitty when it comes to being a mod. And not only that, so is Saikou and so is Kepekley. And so is some other people who I'm not talking about at the moment. But yeah, and mind you, I'd like to point out that not all of Versus Wiki has bad mods. I've said it before, I've said this so many times, that people who say that I think all mods are bad are just outright misconstruing my words. I've put on record that Dark Dragon, Midius, Cal, Weekly, so many others, such as even Antivisma, whatever how you say his name, such as him, who owns the wiki at the moment. He's not a bad mod, and nor is the other people that I mentioned as well. I can go on and on. Not every mod is bad, but Matt, Saikou, and Kepekley are all prime examples of reasons why people turn away from Versus Wiki in terms of moderation, because they can get away with so much shit and it's so stupid. So yeah, with that being said, there's a lot I can go on about, really, and really you can call this pretty much a repeat of my deconstruction of Versus Wiki video, because a lot of what I've covered was on that, but I'm also covering stuff on here that I didn't cover beforehand. So yeah, with that being said, yeah, that's all, folks. Super Rare Neo, peace the fuck out. And I already know this video is gonna get me a lot of shit. I already know that's happening, but you know what? I don't care. I've already come into this video with the foreknowledge that would happen, so I'm just gonna go with my choice. That being said, that's all, folks. Super Rare Neo, peace the fuck out, and hopefully this is the last video I have to do on Versus Wiki. I really hope this is, because I really don't want Versus Wiki to keep doing shit like this. I genuinely do want improvement. Like, real talk for a second, I really do want improvement from Versus Wiki. Not just from a statistical standpoint, like in terms of like power scaling and stuff like that, but I want their moderation and stuff to improve. It used to be somewhat good, but now it's gone to shit, and people can do shit and get away with it. So I just want that to improve. That one thing can improve, then maybe I wouldn't be talking about Versus Wiki so much. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all, folks. Super Neo, peace the fuck out like usual. I prepare your lynch mob. Any white knights of these 3 people I mentioned, I don't care. You can come after me. I don't give a fuck. That's all, folks.